Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Matt from SnusCENTRAL.org and SnusTV.com. So I just wanted to do this quick impromptu, live chat. I'm going to have Chad jump in here in a second. I'm just finishing up getting everything set up here. So give me 1 second, guys. So if you're joining, hold on 1 second here. Got to pull the chat up and everything too, and then I'm going to send a link to Chad here. So 1 second. Hang tight, guys. Can't read any comments at the moment because I didn't pull up the live chat, so 1 second. So if you joined, just talk amongst yourselves for 1 second. Trying to get Chad on here. This is going to look so weird too because I'm like the only person on, and I'm not really talking to anybody at the moment, but give me 1 second, guys. Sending Chad the link now, so should be on here any moment. Thanks too, guys, for joining us. Really appreciate it. I love to do these with other people whenever I get the chance, so just waiting for Chad to jump on. So until he does, I'm actually snoozing on Thunder Sweet Men at the moment. So if you guys check that out in the chat, like this stuff quite a bit. Chad just came on. So what's going on, Chad?
Hey.
I thought it was so much fun. You know, I figured why not.
There we go.
Cool. We always look like we're in a Secret Service meeting, you know, with these headphones in.
We're getting our orders from the Snus CIA over here.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you, Goy Guy. I mean, you know what? This dude is awesome. Like,
Isn't he? He's one of my favorites.
At first, I thought he was going to be a complete dink, but he turned out to be a pretty cool guy.
He is. He's one of the good ones.
That's cool because I get asked about my voice all the time because I work retail, and they're like, "Man, are you sick or something?" I'm like, "No, dude, it's my voice." You know, I don't go around asking people, "Hey, what's wrong with your face?" You know.
Nah, me either. I try not to. I try to avoid doing that.
Oh man. So last time I fully talked to you was on SnusCon, wasn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. It's been a minute.
Like, what was it? Almost a month ago. Maybe.
I actually have a countdown. I always count down from like my favorite events so that I remember how long ago they were. So I do it with like everything that I had a good time doing. So SnusCon was actually, hang on, let me see if I can show this, if it'll work. 36 days and that many hours and that many minutes ago.
Yeah, so it's been a little over a month.
And
that's
actually,
crazy.
Well, what's really exciting is that the articles are coming out now. The people that were there that covered the event, Tobacco Reporter, their article's coming out. It's out right now. They're supposed to be sending us copies of it. And the Tobacco and Mare, theirs are coming out this month too. So I'm excited to see like the pictures they took and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, that was so much fun.
Next year will be even better.
So how many people did you have watching on yours?
What's
your last count?
Oh, well, at the end, it was like 27 people, something like that. So yeah.
So everybody's just joining. So
I can't believe you did one for an hour and a half out.
Dude, it was a marathon. I was all jacked up on Mountain Dew. So it was awesome. Mountain Dew and I think it was one of the, I think it's Black Line. So
I've got once I finish my portion of Prima or a GR, I've got my Prima Fit ready to throw that one in.
Cool. I can't, I can only do loose, and I've talked about this, a couple times before. I can only do loose if I'm outside camping or fishing or something like that, because it just feels more right to me. Like if I'm sitting on a couch in my house, I can't sit there and do loose. It's just weird.
Yeah, I just like doing it at home. Anytime, or if I'm out like camping or stuff like that. Yeah, I love doing it outdoors, but generally it's a relaxing thing for me to do at home. So usually when I think about the end of the day when I get home, that's always what I look forward to is, oh, I get to switch over to loose now because I can't do it at work.
And it's super messy taking it out though. That's the only thing.
Yeah, I've gotten better at it. It seems like the tighter I pack it, the easier it is for me to pull it out in one piece. But it used to be really messy for me.
So let's keep these comments rolling, guys. Love talking to you as always. Chad, thanks for pulling some of your viewers over here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, cross promotion. It's good stuff.
For sure.
Snus for Africa, the campaign.
So like right now, I have fireworks going off in my backyard because my neighbors.
I do too. Yeah, I can hear. Yeah, I live in a suburban neighborhood, and they're shooting them off like in my neighborhood, and my kids asleep.
I'm out in the country, right? And my dog is freaking out because this is the first time she's ever heard fireworks. So.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to sleep, guys. Just leave me alone.
I guess in Michigan here, if you shoot off fireworks midweek, it's illegal now. It never used to be like that, but they signed a law last year.
It's illegal to do it here in city limits.
Is that?
Yep, that's their rule. You can't shoot off fireworks in city limits. They don't like that. But generally, so many people are doing it in so many different parts of town that they really can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
Like I could probably walk in the backyard and shoot my handgun off in the air right now, and nothing would happen because there's fireworks going off everywhere.
You might take down a plane if you're lucky.
Yeah, and I wouldn't do that. And I don't advise doing that. But I'm just for comparison purposes.
I've always wondered that though. Like how far up in the atmosphere does a bullet travel before it comes back?
I had an answer for that. I asked that in a physics class I had because they calculated it for a 9mm bullet, and they looked at the physics of it and the trajectory for how many feet per second a bullet goes, and then with the weight of the bullet, how much it loses in velocity per feet it rises, and it actually goes pretty high. I wish I remembered, but it went a lot higher than I thought.
I bet it's probably on Google or something. It's probably on YouTube. Somebody probably already did it.
You got 2 questions.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, somebody asked you how you found Snus and something else.
So Pink Guy, really cool name, and I like your morph suit. It looks like you got on there too. So if you ever watch my channel, which you're new subscribers, so thank you. I used to be a pipe and cigar smoker, more of it as a hobby type thing. I joined the pipe and cigar community on YouTube for a while, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the craftsmanship of tobacco. Not only that, but the pipe collecting aspect. I still have a couple just to keep around for decorative purposes. From there, I went on to vaping, and I vaped since 2007. And then I stopped vaping right around 2014, 2015, because I was looking for a better, more flavorful experience. So I was still looking for a tobacco product that scratched that itch, that was low risk, and I couldn't find it until I ran across Chad's videos and the SnusCENTRAL YouTube channel's videos. After that happened, I stopped vaping. I was like I hate to say this, but dual user at the time, but even though that's not smoking, so it doesn't matter. But I used both for about a month. And then I was like, you know what? I'm done with vaping. I'm just going to switch over to snus full time. And then, yeah, that's the rest is history. I got picked up here via Chad's recommendation. I'm grateful for that, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
And, yeah, so it's been a huge fun ride for the last 2 years. And it's going to be going on 3 next February. So I'm pretty excited for that.
Oh, here's the answer. I found it. A 30-06 cartridge will go 10,000 feet high and takes 58 seconds to come back down. A 9mm bullet will go 4,000 feet high and takes 37 seconds to come back down.
So you could technically, I mean, I would hate to advise this, and I would never advise this.
Yeah.
You could technically hit a plane.
Yeah, you could.
So,
Low flying planes and like crop dusting planes, stuff like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
dude, yeah, that's no fun. So,
And the source on that is Mythbusters. So that's interesting.
yeah, so nobody shoot anything off in the air. Always use it downrange. Let's see what else we got here. Yeah. Not a lot of questions, a lot of comments, which is good.
Not very.
$3
a piece. General.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. I mean, right now in okay, I live in Michigan. So in Michigan, snus is $2.85 per can.
That's about where we're at now. It was $8 a can, but it's on sale now for like $2.50 a can.
Now I know that Swedish Match does run promotions depending on the areas.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's selling well or if it's not selling well. I don't have those numbers, but I know a lot of people actually hear that snus, and they use a lot of wintergreen and mint. So
yeah, and it's a bummer that loose is being taken out.
Yeah, well, I could never find it here. Like when I first started snus, I was like, oh, what's this loose? You know, I could never find it.
We finally got stores that stock it here because I started buying it here locally, just because I wanted to support them, but I didn't really want to buy mint or anything else like that. So I had them start stocking the loose, and I started buying that from them. And they actually said that stores have the option of still selling it, but it's not going to be like marketed and pushed in the U.S. So if stores really want to sell it, they can. They have an option somehow to do it, but I'm not sure how they're going to do it.
Yeah, it's really interesting that I think you posted a chart. I don't know if you did that, with everybody, but the highest number of sales in the U.S.
Yeah, we didn't. That was one that I couldn't publicize publicly.
Yeah, that makes sense. It makes sense.
But it was interesting. The results were
interesting. Interesting to look at.
There is actually a way to view that. I found this out here recently. There's a company that publishes that every year for snus sales in the U.S., and you have to pay a lot of money to have access to those numbers.
Wow.
So yeah, that was very surprising. Someone says in California,
Chad's rolling in the dough.
I wish.
Yeah, he's rolling in the dough, getting all these snus numbers for you guys.
I wish. That's my next job when I graduate from college with my fancy political science degree. Is I'm going to be a snus tracker.
You should, dude. $5.50 a can. That's crazy.
Yeah. Martin LD Lacritz. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
Or LD Salmiak. I don't think it's called Lacritz. I think it's called Salmiak.
I think it's Salmiak too.
When I first started snus, I didn't know the difference between Lacritz and Salmiak. I thought they were all the same thing. I thought it was all just black licorice.
It's a similar taste, but it is different.
Yeah, I didn't know there was a difference when I started. I was like, they all taste the same. Goy Guy says Chad is actually on a yacht right now. Well, yeah.
Yeah, it's his house yacht.
I'm on a boat.
He's actually in a tiny house that's in a yacht.
Yeah,
so
that's how big the yacht is.
Actually, have you ever looked at those tiny houses?
Yeah. Awesome. I got a buddy of mine that has one. He has one, and he has it set up at there's an RV park here in town, and they have cabins around the side, and you can rent places to put cabins, and he put his tiny house there. But like before he had that, he had like a 2,800 square foot house, and he was always complaining about, I have too much stuff, I have too much space, life's too complicated, I want a more simple life. So he sold everything, built his dream tiny house, and lives there with very minimal things, and he's happy as can be.
Yeah, I love that. That's actually one of my dreams, is to build a tiny house and actually live in it.
Well, I have a cabin, or I have a camper right here next to my house that's probably the size of a bathroom.
Are you going to take that to SnusCon instead of renting a room?
I could. That'd be a lot cheaper.
Yeah.
It's hard to sleep in there with a family of 4. That was the hardest thing I ever did. Goy Guy says I love Airstreams. I wish I could find a good condition one.
Dude, those are a classic, man. It looks like a space hot dog going down the road. Oh, looks like Chad popped off. I wonder if he's going to come back on or not. Anyway, keep these comments going, guys. I think Chad's probably, his computer died or something. So we're going to get him back on. He probably just hit a button somewhere. He's like that sometimes. Yeah, but Airstreams are awesome. I'm just scrolling through the comments here real quick too, guys. See if I missed anything. General Mint gives you a headache. You know what? I've found that out sometimes. It gives me a headache from time to time, but nothing too crazy. I think it's is it just the mint, or is it like the nicotine strength on the General Mint? Because sometimes if you don't get enough nicotine, sometimes you get a slight headache. Have you found that out, Chad?
Every now and then. Somebody says, "What are you doing for the 4th?"
I'm actually working. I don't know. What are you doing, Chad?
I'm off. I got 5 days off. For some reason, the office was closed on the 4th, and they were like, "Well, if we're closed on the 4th, you might as well close on Monday." And everybody was like, "Why don't we just take an early weekend?" So we took off on Friday. So we took 5 days off.
See, that's the this is the joys of retail, is you have to work every holiday except Christmas, and it sucks. And I only had the weekend off, which was, I mean, it was nice. I barely get weekends off, but
yeah, I worked in restaurants for the past 15 years, so I know all about working on the holidays.
Yeah,
I'm glad to hopefully be out of that line of work here pretty soon, though. Throwing in the loose.
You know what? Entertain the chat for a second. I'm gonna grab a drink of water. I forgot to bring it in
All
here.
right.
I'll be right back, guys.
Hey everybody, I'm gonna talk to you guys about snus while I bake my Prilla of Prima Fent. Look at that beautiful snus. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Hang on, let me try again. There we go. Prima Fent. Doesn't get any better than that, ladies and gentlemen. Cook up some good reviews while you're off work. I'll be doing something. I told somebody I was thinking about doing that video tomorrow about using different snus at different times of the day. So I might do that.
Teaching everybody how to hand bake a Prilla.
Yeah, I got my ball, so I'm just gonna turn it into a cylinder, which is what I usually like to do with my loose. There we go. I love Prima Fent. It's like Play-Doh. It's so easy to bake. So see, what I do is I bake my little ball, and then I take the ball and I smash it out and I turn it into a little cylinder, and then that's how I like my loose. Chat is CNN fake news. I don't want to talk politics. That's why I like the snus world, is because I don't have to talk politics. It's what I do for a living.
Comment.
Yeah.
No comment. Look at how fancy I am. I'm drinking my water out of a wine glass.
That is pretty cool. I'm drinking sweet tea.
That peach stuff is good too, man.
It really is. If they made this in a portion, I would probably quit using General. I love this stuff so much.
Oh my gosh! You know what? I still have some of those empty portions, and I think if I get a can of that next time, I'm gonna load up those portions.
Oh, I forgot to bring this to SnusCon. Hang on. Let me show you. I've got it here with me. There it is. Let me see if you can see this. I got weird lighting here.
Oh God.
There we go. That's better. Yeah, the lighting's here. These are Filt. They're.
You're like scraping up against the mic or something.
Oh, it was the counter. There we go. These are Filt portion papers.
Oh wow.
And let me show you what they look like. If you've ever seen those roll your own cigarette papers, in that box, these are what they look like. They're smaller. I was going to bring these to SnusCon and give them away for people to try out, but they're like roll your own cigarette papers. So you take it and you pull, as much as you want out.
Without ripping it.
Yeah, without ripping it. Take it out like that.
That's awesome.
Tear it off at the end, and then you can just wrap your loose in it, and then you have a portion ready to go.
Wow.
I'll mail you some. I've got 1 million of these.
Dude, I need some for sure. Can you like heat seal those?
No, I don't think so.
Wasn't that that was the first inventor of the portion? Didn't he do something like that with like a napkin or I know it's a tea bag?
Yeah. It was like a heat sealing tea bag or something like that.
Yeah.
That guy, We should try to get him to come to SnusCon next year.
For sure, man. He's like, what, pushing 80?
Yeah, he's up there. And Binked is good friends with him, so that would be cool to bring him to SnusCon.
I tell you what, too, man. Binked was like the best guy I've met at SnusCon. Like, the nicest guy ever.
He
For
really
real.
is. Yeah.
For real.
I don't think I've ever met anyone in my life who's nicer than him.
Like, when I met him, right, I've only had a couple conversations with him online. He was like, it's like I knew the guy forever. And I don't know if like all Swedes are like that, but man, if that's the case, I'm gonna have to make the trip next year.
Oh no, it's like that. Every Swede I've ever met has been like the nicest person ever.
See, I got some more comments here, looks like.
At the same time I'm doing the stream, I'm having a chat with a friend of mine about the new Burger King Mushroom King or whatever. It's like it's a cheeseburger with bacon and mushrooms and Swiss on it. It sounds really good.
It does. I mean, see, the only thing that I like from Burger King is the Whoppers.
Oh, I love their burgers. I can't cook yet. I've got my new gas range stove here, but it's not hooked up yet. And I'm not licensed to do that stuff. And I'm not going to try and mess with gas. So I've got to get it hooked up so I can cook again.
So tonight, to answer, well, pink guy is koi guy, but I was just snoozing on Thunder Sweet Mint. And then I was about to pop in a Kula. Just still got some of this.
You want to see something really cool? I haven't posted this on Facebook yet. Hang on, let me pull it up. I'll just show part of it. Hang on. There we go. This is my shirt I'm wearing on July 4th.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I have a whole outfit that's all America, so I'm pretty excited about it.
You got like America jump pants and everything like that?
Pants, shoes, all that. It's fantastic. I am going to look like a champion.
Are you gonna do that like open carry too? That'd be awesome.
I've never open carried here. It's legal here in Arkansas. I've never done it. People get kind of uncomfortable when you do it, but that would be really cool. Like I don't know if I could get a musket, because it would tie in with July 4th if I carried a musket and like a one of those little tobacco horns like on my hip.
That'd be awesome. That
would be really cool. I need to do that. I've never shot a musket before, but I have a friend of mine that lives here that's a Civil War reenactor, and he actually has a musket. It's not like an old one. I think it's like a repop, but it's a real deal musket. And he sent me videos of him shooting it, and it is the coolest thing. It looks insane. So I may have to do that sometime. I've never shot one, but I'd like to.
They're fun, man. It's a lot of smoke. A lot of smoke.
Can you imagine what it was like, back when that was all they had? So you're on the battlefield, you fire off your round, your enemy's in your face, and you're like, hang on, and you got to repack your gun.
They stood in a line too. And it's like, dude, like how could you sit there, right, and have that happen and not think, okay, I need to like go this way, like I need to run this way, but they just stood there.
There was no military strategy back then.
It's crazy.
And they were in, during the Revolutionary War, they were in the woods, and the British armed forces, their uniform, they were, redcoats. So they were in the woods trying to hide from American forces who were like backwoods people who knew the woods and knew how to hide. And then you got these guys coming in there with redcoats in the woods. It was no camouflage at all. They did not think that through very well.
Plus, they had a giant X on their chest.
Matt, do you have Snapchat? Someone asked me if I had it.
I don't have Snapchat. I'm a little bit behind with the times here.
Yeah, I don't have it either. I have to ask, like a lot of this stuff, I have to ask my daughter about. Someone asked me about Snapchat the other day, so I texted my daughter, and I was like, do you know what Snapchat is? And she's like, oh, it's really cool. You can make all these filters on your face and stuff. And I'm like, so what do you do? And she's like, well, one of my friends at school has it, and you just put up pictures of yourself, and they go away after a certain period of time. And I'm like, yeah, I don't get it.
No.
She's like, you're just old, Dad.
Especially from like Snus too. Like if you like posting Snus photos on Instagram, and then they're there, other people could see them over time. But if you have Snapchat, you can't do that. It's just, they're there and they're gone. It's like, what's the point? So Chad's gonna pop back on. I think the fireworks are messing with his internet connection. But yeah, sorry for the interruptions, guys. Like I said, Chad's internet connection's probably spotty or something. As you guys know, he had a lot of home renovations going on. My thoughts about Outlaw, Chad. I know you just joined again. Like I don't know if you ever overheard what I said, but your internet is probably spotty because of all the fireworks.
Yeah.
But Outlaw, my thoughts on Outlaw personally, I mean, he's good as an entertainer. But yeah, I'm not really a huge fan, even though I'm subscribed to the guy for entertainment purposes. I'm not a huge fan of the guy.
My thoughts on him. I heard a long time ago. There's this guy Kevin Smith who makes Clerks and Mallrats and Dogma and those movies. Some of you probably heard of him, but he was doing a podcast and he was talking to this other guy who was making fun of Tyler Perry, who does those Medea movies. And Kevin Smith was like, you may not like those movies, but Tyler Perry has found his audience and he makes a crap ton of money. And I guess that's kind of how I approach Outlaw. I don't really like his videos. I don't really like what he does. I'm not a fan. I find his personality is kind of annoying on YouTube. I've heard outside of YouTube, he's a pretty cool guy, but he has an audience and his audience likes what he does. And that's cool. If you're being creative and you're putting out some kind of art is really subjective. And I'm not saying what we do is art, but I view all of media as a type of visual art. So every kind of art that you create is subjective. So, his viewers may not like me. I could show you guys comments I've got from his viewers. They're not my biggest fans, but even though he's not for me, he has an audience. But somebody said Chris Dips 1 is cool. I do like Chris Dips 1. He's actually getting into snus lately, and he's been doing a lot of snus videos, so you have to check him out. But Matt, I don't know if you've noticed, a lot of the YouTube dippers have been getting into snus lately.
Yep, and a lot of vapors as well. But yeah, Chris Dips 1, going back to that for a second, I think we've both talked to the guy a couple times just in comments.
Yeah.
And he is pretty cool. He's pretty laid back.
Yep.
He does have like, that front just like Outlaw does, but his is more like relaxed in a way. It's not as out there sometimes.
Yeah. And what Outlaw, he does this for a living. Like until YouTube put in those new laws about or rules about tobacco advertising. But he did this for a living. He was making a lot of money in ads, which is crazy to me, I guess. But when you or I may make a video and we're excited if we get 100 to 400 views, he makes a video and the next day he's got 40,000 views on it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think he's up to like 400,000 or 500,000 subscribers, if not more.
It's ridiculous. It's a lot of people. But there's a lot of the dip community here in the States is pretty big. So it's very fun. Where'd my snus go? I swear if my dog ran out, there it is.
My dog does it all the time too, man.
Yeah, he has an obsession with my cans.
It's funny too because they were there at SnusCon. They were talking about how more women like mint snoozes and men like just tobacco.
Yeah,
I found that's the same with dogs. So if you're saying that your dog likes to run off, Oliver likes to run off with tobacco flavors, right?
Yeah, he does.
My dog's a female, and she loves mint snoozes.
There you go.
It's got to be true.
That's the reason it is.
They use dogs in their study.
We need to see if they'll do that. So Goy Guy says the reason Outlaw and Mud Jug 1 talk smack about snus is because with snus you eliminate the need for a mud jug. That's not true. Can you see it? Hang on. I don't want to get up. Let me see if you can see it.
I can see it. It's on your counter.
Right there. That's a mud jug. I use it to put my used snus portions in because I'm too lazy to walk all the way over there to my trash can. But you can use them for snus. I've got one in the car too for snus portions because I don't like littering. I don't like throwing them out the window.
Yeah.
I'm very clean.
I drink a lot of Arizona tea in the summer.
I love their Arnold Palmer.
And those make great great mud jugs for snus.
Yeah. I in my bedroom I have a one of the empty old collector's snus tins, one of my old Lucky Strike tins I got from Sweden. I have that, and I put my used portions in there because I'm too lazy to walk over to the trash can 15 feet away in my bathroom.
Do you ever reuse old cans and like just trick yourself into thinking, yeah, this is like an old snus?
And sometimes I'll use old cans. Like if I'm trying to think of an example. Okay, well, there was one time I was on a plane, and I don't fly very often at all, but I remember the last time I was on a plane, I brought an empty can, and I put used portions in that because I didn't know what else to do with them. I didn't want to fill up my catch lid. So that's one way to do it. I wish it would be really cool if I could. This would be cool to be gross, but if I could take all the used portions I've had over the past 8 years and just to like visualize how many it's been and see them out in my front yard.
Just but like if you ever get lost somewhere though, just make sure you bring snus cans and just do a SOS sign with snus cans.
Or you could do like they do in those Survivor movies where they take a vessel and they put in alcohol or whatever and a pen and it turns into a compass.
Yep. Or you could make if you get like the metal cans, you could make a survival kit out of one of those using that as a container.
That would be cool.
So this, I will throw General White portion in this and just pretend I'm using Tailored again.
Oh, I love it. I love it. That brings back some memories. Oh,
it's got the catch lid on the bottom.
I wish you could have. Cool. I wish you could have tried the General 22 and the GR 22.
Oh, is that exclusively for Sweden, or they?
Yeah. No, it was, and they only sold it for like a month, and I think it's gone now. Some of our Swedish viewers may be able to say. Pink Guy talks about that, and I saw someone do this not too long ago. Someone did it at SnusCon. I've never seen someone spit out their loose. How do you do it?
Here we go.
I've seen someone do it with loose, and I've seen someone do it with portion. But there's a way, and I think Nash did it. I think Nash was who did it. You can take your tongue and you swipe it along the inside of your gum, and you collect your snus, and you get it on the tip of your tongue, and then you can spit it out. I would do it, but I've only had this loose in for like 10 minutes. But that's how you do it. It's really cool.
That's crazy.
I've done it with portions, but never with loose. I may try that later. It could be really good, or it could be an outtake.
Oh, that's gross. First name, last name. I'm making a giant ball out of my used loose snus.
That would be cool. You can make a little mountain. It was like that episode of SpongeBob where Patrick gave. I have kids, so don't judge me. It's like I like SpongeBob too. I don't care. Laugh at me all you want. Yeah. So Patrick collected all his used gum and gave it to SpongeBob in one of the episodes, and it was this giant ball of used gum, and it got in his house, and it kept getting all his stuff that he owned stuck in it. In Florida jails, prisoners will take guards' used dip, dry it out, and roll cigarettes out of it with toilet paper.
Oh.
Says Goy Guy.
Oh, that's gross.
I've seen people over the years who will comment on videos and stuff that they'll like reuse their old portions. I've never done that, but I've seen people who will do that.
I've done that once, and then I
never did it again. Yeah. I used to do it when I was a smoker, like back in, I think back in 2005, I was switching between companies, and I had this 2-week period between the two companies I was switching between, and I didn't save any money because I wasn't smart back then. But anyways, I had 2 weeks, and I was like, I should be fine. And anyways, I ran out of cigarettes like a week in, and I had to look at my money, and I was like, oh, I've only got enough money for groceries. I don't need to waste this money on cigarettes. And I ended up actually going through my ashtray and picking out used cigarette butts and smoking those just to get nicotine. Whoa. It was bad. Yeah. Cigarettes are that's a rough life. Smoke life is rough.
So I know the first snus you tried was General White.
Yeah.
Right after that, what was the next one you went to that really like surprised you?
I think out of that sampler pack, the only ones I really tried, because I got the sampler pack and I tried the General White and I didn't like it. So I looked through all the box and I looked at all the stuff that was in there, like Grove and some other stuff. And I tried the eucalyptus and I thought it was okay, but I didn't really like the flavor of it. but it's interesting. That's one I've used for years. So that one kind of caught me off guard that I actually liked that one. One that was really interesting that I didn't like back then was Rhodolachet. I tried that one and I didn't like it, but now I love it. Well, we don't have the portion anymore, but I like the loose. But that was one that surprised me because I didn't like it then. And another one was GR. I didn't like Göteborgs Rapé when I first tried it, but then I liked it later, and now I use it all the time. So that's why I always tell people that are new to snus, when they try something and they say they don't like it, I'm like, put it in your freezer, you'll like it next week.
I was that way when, okay, so I tried General Original portion. I love the flavor right off the bat. And then I went to General Mint for a little bit, like everybody does.
Yeah.
And after that, I switched to white portion, General White portion, original flavor. And for some reason, that made me gag after a while.
Yeah,
I don't know what the deal was.
The smell got me. That was the rough part.
But then I love it. I love it now. Like, it's weird how your taste buds change.
Yeah, and that's why I always tell people, just if you don't like something, just save it because you'll probably like it later. And that's what happened with General White portion. I went back and tried it, and all of a sudden I was like, this is actually pretty good. It just took time for, everybody's taste change and develop and stuff like that. And you still kind of see it now, like people that are new to snus, like they'll go through that phase where they'll use nothing but mint snus. And it used to be Thunder Frosted. Now it's Siberia. You see all the new users who come in, they go to that Siberia and use that all the time. But it's interesting because most people start with mint, eventually like traditional flavored stuff.
See, I'm wondering, like, for first time snus users, how can they go to Siberia, like right out of the gate?
I remember it was when I first tried General Mini Mint. I felt good with that one. I actually got a buzz from that, which is really weird because that's a mini portion. So I started my blog right after that, and one of the first full-size snoozes that I reviewed was the Jacobson's Ice Fruit, which was my first 8 milligram per gram snus I ever tried. And I remember I used that, and I got dizzy when I put that in, which is really weird because it's a regular strength snus. But that shows you how weak the American stuff is.
Oh yeah. And let me ask you this too, because I didn't get a chance to ask you this in SnusCon. Through the years of doing this, how many people have you like helped switch from smoking to snus, or have you turned anybody onto it that said, maybe not now, but in the future? Like,
I've got for the past 8 years, and I could probably count because I save every single email and message I get. But for the past 8 years, I'd say probably the past 7 years, it took about a year for the website to take off. But for the past 7 years, probably at least 5 out of 7 days a week, I'll get a message from someone that says I helped them quit smoking. And that's really, me and Larry talk about this all the time. That's really the reason that we do that. So if that's 270 people a year over 7 years, that's almost 2,000 people. And for me personally, that's out of everything I've done, like my biggest accomplishments in life is like number one is like my kids, and then number two is probably that, because being able to help that many people quit smoking, that's amazing. That's what we do. I mean, we do something that helps people, and not many people can say that. Pharmaceutical companies can't say that because their products don't help people quit, but we do.
If you look at most pharmaceuticals, they causes cancer like right out of the gate.
Yeah. Somebody said they have Goy Guy says they have hops flavored snus, and I was like, no way. And I was like, oh yeah, I've had that.
Let's see.
First name, last name. There actually is one. Have you heard of it?
No.
I took a picture of it last night. Hang on, I saw it on Instagram, so I actually took a picture of it. It's called.
I'm not into the devil's lettuce.
I don't do it either, but I support liberty. So if people want to do it on their own time, then by all means, I don't care if they do. But for me personally, it's not for me. Hang on, I don't like it
when people make like YouTube or Facebook videos about them smoking weed.
Okay, here it is. You see that?
Hold on. Yeah, that's weird.
That's called it's called Cannadips, and it's a pouched product that has like THC in it. So people who can get, I think it's only available in California or something like that, or medical marijuana or recreational users. It doesn't have marijuana in it, but I don't know this stuff. I don't use it, so I don't know the terminology. But from what I remember, it has THC or something in it. So people use it like snus, I guess, but it delivers THC or CBD or whatever that stuff's called that people like about marijuana. They get it through that pouch. So, if they want to do it, it's fine. It's one of the things I always tell people. It's like one of the best quotes I ever heard about politics was somebody said, I want gay married couples to be able to protect their marijuana plants with guns. And that's kind of always been my mentality is I don't care what anybody else does. If you're not hurting anyone, go nuts. I don't care.
I'd be careful, Chad, what you say about that snus, because you as the guinea pig of the snus world, you might get a lot of comments on people asking you to do that.
Oh, I know. I will not touch it. I've had people ask me to try Makla, and I was going to do a review of it, and I started doing research on it and trying it out for a while, but I didn't like it, so I never tried it. And people ask me to do it all the time, and I'm like, I used one little ball of it, and it made me sick, and I'm never touching it again.
So I want to go back to that too. The how many people you helped and stuff. I wanted to add a comment to that. So I got my buddy Josh off of cigarettes in like a week. I think he's still snoozing. I haven't heard anything about him going back to cigarettes. And then at work, I have at least 3 or 4 people that have either stopped smoking or went from vaping or is transitioning from vaping to snus. So, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, me being the guy that brings in, exotic, snus to work is going to spark up conversations. So yeah, I think it's pretty funny because I'll bring in a new, can of something that just released or something. And they're like, oh, what's that? Can I try that? I'm like, sure. So I'll have them try a portion. They're like, yeah, it's pretty good. I'm like, okay, what's your thoughts? So I'll sort of like gauge what I'm thinking with theirs and we'll sort of like brainstorm on it. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool.
I get that a lot where if I'm working in one of our stores and, we have a lot of smokers that work in restaurants, and if it gets busy or whatever and they want to smoke, they know that I use snus. So they'll come over to me and they're like, hey, what do you have? Can I use something? I need a cigarette, but I can't leave. And I'm like, you should probably switch, because when I'm standing here making pizzas for 4 hours, I'm glad that I can use nicotine without having to leave the store.
Well, see, that's a lot of what am I saying? That's most people's problem, right? Is the newer generations, I don't want to down anybody, but they're getting lazier.
Yeah.
So for them to take a break off of work to go do something other than work, they're going to get that chance to do it. So, I'm going to take a snooze and continue to work hard. So
I know, and it's weird because back in the day when I was a smoker, I always wanted to have my smoke break. But now that I'm not a smoker and somebody wants a smoke break, I'm kind of like, that's not fair, because you're going to go sit outside for 10 minutes and not do anything while I'm going to stay in here and work.
We're both going to get paid.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to, tighten up their bootstraps and snooze and work.
Yeah. And I'm a lot more productive because, with cigarettes, like I would go a long time without smoking and I would get that craving and I'd start getting antsy and fussy. But with snus, I always have one in. So I feel like I'm more productive because I'm not feeling those highs and lows and those cravings and the spikes like you do with, cigarettes.
Yeah.
Somebody said we should implement a snus break.
Or a snooze cult, real talk. Join a
Cult.
snooze cult, real talk. Is that what we should call these live streams?
Yeah.
Snooze cult episode X.
And then snooze break episode 27. I never could come up with a name for them. I just called them live. I'm like, I can't come up with anything better than that. I saw I was watching a video today. I think George Takei shared it on Facebook, and there was this family that used to go vacation in the Virgin Islands all the time, and they were surprised that there was no pizza restaurants there. So they had an idea to turn a boat into a pizza restaurant. So they quit their jobs and they opened a pizza boat, and that's all they do now is sit in this beautiful lagoon in the Virgin Islands and just sell pizzas to tourists off their boat.
Oh, that's awesome. That's living the dream.
Yeah, that is amazing. I would open a snooze boat. Well, they have those. They have the snus fairies.
Oh yeah.
Next time I go to Sweden, that's something I want to do is take a snus ferry just to see what it's like.
It's like people handing out snus.
I
Like
imagine.
24/7.
Well, I imagine it's a lot like, I don't know if you were taking a cruise, but it's like when you go to a port of call and you get off your cruise and you can buy rum and stuff that's tax free. I imagine I don't know if it's tax free on the ferries, but people do that. I guess that are alcoholics to save money when they buy in bulk.
It's like they're sitting out there, like you go to the the Caribbean islands or whatever. They're handing out like fake cans of General.
I always wondered that when I go on cruises and I'll go to the Bahamas or whatever, and I'll buy Cuban cigars. And I always wonder if I get back and I'm like, I wonder if these are real Cubans or if they just put them in Cuban wrappers or if they're actually Dominicans. Somebody said the Catholics had the Crusades. We will have a snusade. Who would we be at war with? The Crusades were a very dark time in history. I guess we could.
The smokers, man.
Yeah. We will have the snusades against the American snus users. Somebody asked if I could skip snus for a day. I did it. I did it for 3 days when I had oral surgery. I didn't use any snus for like 3 days, and I was fine.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
When we were talking about it on Chad's chat, when I get sick, I'm out. I don't use snus.
Yeah,
unless I have a sore throat. Sometimes I'll have like a eucalyptus. That helps.
Yeah, that's really the only time I'll use it if I have a sore throat or a cold. I'm like, I'll use my eucalyptus stuff or mint. I'll occasionally use a mint, but I find that if I have a sore throat, like for some reason, General just tastes awful when I have a sore throat. Like I can't even use it.
It's probably the bergamot that's irritating your throat too.
Yeah. So I'm not. I just can't do it. So I always, I'll keep like maybe 2 or 3 cans in the refrigerator or the freezer. Anytime I run out, I'll just buy like 2 or 3 cans and I'll keep them in there because I really don't use it that often, except around like the winter time. Then I'll maybe buy a roll and throw it in there because I get a lot of colds during the winter.
See, I gotta put in a new order here pretty soon because I'm like running off of off-road Kula and like extreme portions. So I'm like gonna overnick myself.
Oh my goodness. I like the off-road Kula. I had one today. I got in my refrigerator. I've got that.
It's underrated in my opinion. It really is.
Somebody says, do either of you guys like Warhammer 40K? I don't know what that is.
I used to play the board game Warhammer back in my Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering years.
It's a tabletop miniature war game produced by Games Workshop set in a dystopian fantasy universe. It's called Warhammer 40,000. It was created by Rick Priestley in 1987. Interesting. I guess it's like D&D or something.
It's similar. I know they have a video game too. I don't know if he's talking about that or the tabletop.
I remember when I was little, we played Magic the Gathering. I mean, that was really popular.
And it's weird because, like, have you ever noticed that too? Like when you get into a hobby, you're like super into it.
Yeah. So what I was like with snus when I got into it, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
It's like now instead of collecting Magic the Gathering cards, you're collecting snus cans.
I do, and I'll do like every now and then I'll be on eBay and I'll look for like old snus cans from before I started snoozing, because I like to collect them. So it just depends on what I'm looking for that particular day.
And like lately, I've been in the expensive hobby of collecting ice tool cans.
Oh God, that is not a good hobby. That is a very expensive hobby. I was the only other hobby I had other than snus was I collected action figures, like Ninja Turtles and Transformers, like the 80s ones. Yep. And I have boxes of them that I would like to display, but I really don't know where I put them. And my kid would probably try and open them, and they're probably worth money.
Do you have do you still have any Transformers?
Yeah, I have all of the original 80s Transformers in their original packages.
Like the frickin' Metal Optimus Prime too?
Yeah, all that.
No way.
Yeah. I've got the different variants of the different figures. Now that's a cool hobby. Goy Guy says I collect old guns. I'd like to do that. That would be really neat. I'd like what's the one they talk about on Pawn Stars all the time? His favorite gun.
Oh, I can't even remember. I haven't seen that show in such a long time. I used to watch it all the time. The Pawn Stars, Um, we have one here. It's called Hardcore Pawn.
Oh, I
It's based
love
in
that
Detroit.
show.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
American Gold and something. I can't remember what they're called.
The one in Detroit.
Yeah.
Hardcore. Yeah, well, it's Hardcore Pawn. I think it's American. No, is it? I can't remember. I'm in Michigan. I can't remember anything.
American Jewelry and Loan. That's what it's
Mm-hmm.
called. Yeah.
Now
Blunderbuss. That's what a blunderbuss. I'd like to have one of those because I know Rick Harrison's always talking about them on Pawn Stars.
you know the American Pickers.
Yeah.
My uncle lives down the road from me. It's like 2 houses down, and they drove by his house like really slow. And he has a pole barn, a giant pole barn with a bunch of stuff like antique farm equipment. And he's like, man, I wish I would have stopped by. I had a couple things for him, but and I'm going to actually email them and let them know, hey, you guys missed a spot here.
Yeah, they're actually really cool. One of the other guy on TV, Mike, his brother, I can't remember his name, Rob, I think, something like that. But anyways, we went up there to Iowa a while back and went to their shop, and my wife's a really big fan of that show. And I was like, hey, she's a really big fan of your show. Can we meet you guys? And we actually set something up so she could actually meet him and go to the shop and stuff like that. It was really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, they're.
So yeah, first name, last name. Yeah, it is a Colt Python. So thank you, Goy Guy. And those are going for like, if you can find one in good condition. I know this is a snooze channel, but we get off on tangents sometimes. They go for like $2,000 to $3,000 in good condition. So excellent condition. So they're pretty hard to find. Not really. There's a couple first name, last name. You know about what they say about big guns, big bullets. There's a couple 22 semi-autos that are pretty big guns, but they're 22 rounds. And again, Chad's joining us. The fireworks are just destroying his internet connection.
They really are.
And the FBI and CIA are sitting here trying to disconnect us because we're talking about top secret snooze stuff.
They don't like it. It's making them mad. They're really uncomfortable with it.
I think it's because we're talking about like guns. They're like trying to shut us down.
They can't stand it. They can't handle the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Now, someone mentioned Colt Python. That was one of the ones that he mentions on that show a lot.
And Goy Guy, Brand New. Yes, Brand New is a great band. I don't think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're. Someone says first name, last name says ATF took my snooze. That's weird.
You know, that actually happened to Mo Ons. He actually didn't make it to SnusCon because of that. And
yeah, if you missed it, check out his blog entry at SnusCENTRAL.com. He actually wrote a blog entry about how he was banned from entering the U.S. because he had a Cuban snus with him.
SnusCENTRAL.org, I think, is on, isn't that?
No, that one's on his blog on .com. Yeah. It's a really good piece. It's very interesting. People were really excited to meet him, and it didn't work out.
I drink a lot of water during these live views because it is pretty darn hot in my room. I don't have AC at all in the house, so I'm like just sweating.
You don't have central air?
No, I don't.
Oof.
I'm in a house that was built in the 80s, man. We never updated it.
And my house was built in the 90s, but we just completely renovated it, so it looks brand new. So I have hard floors finally.
I see your fridge back there. It's pretty nice looking.
Oh, it's stainless. I love it. I finally have a stainless fridge and a gas range. I am in heaven. I'm broke, but I'm in heaven.
Every time you walk up to your stove, do you think of Hank Hill?
I do. My dad just got a place out in the country. He bought a little cabin out there, kind of like a retreat, and he has a propane tank out there that powers the gas in his house. Mine's natural gas, I think, but his is propane. He has a giant propane tank, and I don't know if he's ever seen King of the Hill, because we were out there helping him move in, and we walked by, and he pointed at the propane tank, and he was like, "Yeah, I got this propane tank added on so I can have gas in the house." And I was like, "Now all you need is some propane accessories," and he was like, "Well, I guess so," and then went in the house, and I'm like, oh, I don't think you know what I'm talking about.
I love that stuff. Super underrated.
It really
Well,
is.
for this generation.
Yeah, it's. Oh, we were. My wife's younger than me, and we were at the store the other day at Walmart, and they had the Beavis and Butthead box set, and I was talking about Mr. Anderson, and I was like, if you ever watch that, that's who Hank Hill's kind of. That's kind of his beginning. That's who he came from. And she was like, I've never watched this, and I was like, oh my god, young.
Have you ever tried to like experiment with making your own snus?
Yeah, I've got.
Like from tobacco seed to like making it.
I would like to. My parents have a lot of land that they said I could use a plot of, so I'd like to try and grow my own tobacco. I think it'd be fun. The only thing is here about the Arkansas climate is our climate is it's not moderate. It's more humid. So I don't know if we could grow tobacco here. I'm sure I could. I just don't know how it would turn out. That's the problem. But they do grow it in. They grow that
Virginia.
tobacco that Connie likes in Louisiana, and they have a similar climate to here. So I guess I could grow it. But I'd like to. I'm looking at it.
I got a garden in right now, man. And I was thinking, I was like, man, I wonder if I could throw some tobacco here. But the thing with that, I looked into it, and they said that it takes up a lot of freaking nutrients in the soil.
Yeah.
And like destroys it. So I'm like, yeah, I'll stop. I won't do it.
Someone says growing tobacco is insanely regulated.
Well, I mean, if it's for personal use, you could do it. There's no problem.
Is there a limit to how much you can grow?
I don't think so, as long as you're not selling it.
There are rules and regulations of the Arkansas Tobacco Control Board.
Was there a federal one or no? Because I know
I think that would be something.
State.
That may be something they would leave to the states, I would assume. Probably like marijuana. There's probably a federal law, but they probably leave it to the states, I would guess. There we go. Let's see. Growing tobacco in Arkansas. Yeah, it's legal here. You're limited in how much you can grow, and you can't sell it unless you get a license or a permit from the ATF, which I assume that anyway. Okay, so I can grow it. I guess I just wouldn't grow a bunch of it unless I wanted to make a crap ton of snus.
Do the American Snus Company, or like me up here, since I have the lakes, Great Lakes Snus Company.
Yeah, and what do we have here? We're the natural state. Bill Clinton's from here. We could be the Clinton Snus Company.
You could be the natural snus company.
That would be cool. I'd grow it all natural, with no pesticides, all organic.
Yep. And then you'd have like Scroof and Swedish Match knocking at your door for organic tobacco.
What's interesting about that organic tobacco is I like the regular Scroof more than the organic Scroof.
I flip-flop between the two, to be honest. Sometimes I'll get a really bad, hankering for the organic stuff.
Yeah, I've got the organic loose in my freezer and the regular loose. Someone says I was on the way to sleep, but I saw you gaze, so I started to. I think he's meant to say guys. So I saw you gaze, so I started to watch. It's almost morning in Sweden. Yeah, a lot of these viewers are from Sweden. That was the same thing on my stream, and it's 5:27 a.m. in Stockholm. Do you know how early their sunrise is there? I don't know if you can see this or not. The sunrise in Stockholm is at 3:39 a.m.
Whoa!
And I remember because we were in Sweden and we were out hanging out with some people from Swedish Match, and it was a late night. But anyways, we were leaving the club. It was like 3 or 4 in the morning or something, and we walked outside, and the sun was up, and I was like, "Did I lose 6 hours?" And they were like, "No, the sun just comes up really early in Sweden for some reason."
So did you go there like 6 or 7 at night,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
come out at 4 in the morning?
Yeah, pretty much.
What the heck, man? The sun didn't go down.
It's like it never happened. And what was weird was I went back to the hotel and I was so tired and I was so ready to go to sleep, and I fell asleep, and at like 7 in the morning I heard this knock on my door, and I thought it was the hotel or something. So I got up and I walked over there, and it was someone from Swedish Match, and they were like, "Hey, we're gonna go to the factory this morning if you want to go check it out." And I was like, "It's how are you awake?"
That's how they make their snus, man. They're just up and at it. They're like, they keep that old farmer's tradition alive of getting up when the sun comes up.
Yeah,
You know,
I couldn't do it. Like even right now, it's 10:30. Like I usually every night I'm in bed at like 9 o'clock.
noise box. You just asked me if I'm living in the northern or lower UP or southern peninsula. Are you in the northern or southern peninsula yourself, noise box? Because for privacy concerns, I think you could almost get it out of my videos, but I don't want to say. Even though it doesn't matter. Michigan's a big state.
Northern Lower Peninsula. Michigan is a big state. You could probably fit like 14 Arkansas there.
Probably 2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They probably fit one of them in the lakes.
Oh, I know. You guys must have the best fishing up there.
It's awesome, dude. Like I was never into fishing when I was younger. Like I went a couple times, you know, but when I got older, I'm just like, this is freaking awesome, you know. So
It's like you guys are speaking in Chinese. Noisebox said, "I hail from Metro Detroit. I've moved to the PNW." I don't even know what that is.
Pacific Northwest, right?
Oh, that's like Oregon, right?
Yeah. So I'm from the Lower Peninsula.
I haven't been to. I don't think I've ever been in Michigan. I've been to Minnesota and I've been to Wisconsin, but I don't think I've ever been into Michigan.
You know, I was thinking about this, man. 2019 SnusCon. We need to have it in Mackinac Island because they have a airport there, like a small one. So like they have a hotel on the island.
That would be really cool.
It'd be so freaking cool.
Or we could have it in Catalina when they have the Catalina wine mixer.
Oh, dude, yeah.
But that would be really cool, like a private SnusCon island.
Thoughts about LD? Never had it. That's my
It's
thoughts.
good. It's good. LD was one of my earliest loves. The LD white portion was a favorite of mine. The LD Salmiak is really good. The LD Loose is really good. LD is one of those brands that I don't know what the price point is for it now, but it used to be a budget brand, and it was one that always tasted way better than budget. Like they sold it for next to nothing, but it tastes like it's not a budget brand.
Who can first name, last name? Who consumed the most snus at SnusCon? Oh, I think everybody did a lot of snus.
Yeah.
I wasn't counting portions as people were popping them in. That'd be weird.
I felt like I used more than usual because I was around other people who use snus, and I'm never around other people who use snus. So it was cool to be at a restaurant and be around people who had snus cans on the table. Like I thought that was really cool.
Could you imagine like if that was smoking? Like like how much like you'd be like chain smoking like constantly.
It was like that when I was a smoker before. Like if I'd go out to a bar or something like that and people would be smoking, like if I would just see someone smoking, I'd want to smoke. Hey, someone that used your intro is on the chat.
Sweet. Yeah, man. I tried to email you, man. Come on. Add me on Facebook too. So thank you again for your intro. I really appreciate that. And as you guys know, or some of you might know that are watching this, I have a intro thing going on. So if you want to welcome the channel and get your your name out there, or just be like 10-15 seconds of spotlight fame, send your videos over. I have a dedicated email for that. I know Chad has done one, so thank you for that, sir. Yeah. Binkt Viberg did one. So all the information is going to be down below in this video where you can send those intros. So all I ask is for you not to be vulgar. Don't, be dumb. Don't be dumb, please. Just be fun. Be fun. Be yourself. Have fun.
And wear pants.
And well, you don't have to. I mean, as long as you don't show your nether regions.
Yeah, okay, that works. Bink did one. I liked his. His was fun.
Yeah, this is cool.
Are you a Lions fan?
No, I'm not a Lions fan. I'm a baseball guy. So
yeah,
Tigers all the way. I'm so mad we traded Smiley though. It sucked. Good pitcher.
Someone says they're having trouble finding General Onyx in Sweden.
That's weird.
Someone should sew a pair of pants made from snus cans. If someone does that, send them to me. I'll do a review wearing them. I will. I have no shame.
Very uncomfortable.
I imagine it would be. I have no shame. I will do it. I don't care.
Now, if it was made out of like portions, it'd be probably a different story.
Maybe try the Swedish Match web store.
Snus pants?
They actually have a web store now. No, someone's talking about General Onyx. But yeah, maybe they sell those there too.
Don't they sell like
it's not Sweden
stuff in Sweden though? Like General socks and stuff like you got?
Oh yeah, I've got a pair of the General socks. I love them. Okay, go to swedishmatch.se. They have a web store. I assume they ship within Sweden. Hey, they have the G4 Slim White listed now that I reviewed like a month ago. They finally recognized it for sale. Yeah, they have Onyx for sale on their web store. Yeah, they have the G4 All White Snus finally listed for sale. I reviewed this a month ago.
Pink Guy asked you a question, Chad. Do you have a snus pillow that you advertised long ago?
Yeah, it's in my bedroom. It's from Dens and Sons.
I wanted one of those for the longest time, and I still do, but they're like $100.
That's interesting. I'm sorry, I'm reading their thing about G4. Did you try that when I brought it to SnusCon? Did I give you a portion of that?
G4?
Yeah.
No.
The all white snus. I did a review of it. You have to check it out. It's like Epoch, but Swedish Match is making one now. It's called G4.
I thought that was Omni that they were working on.
Yeah, they say in the 150 years ago, General Loose was the first release. In the 80s, General was the second generation. G3 in 2014 was the third generation. Now G4 is considered the fourth generation from snus and the latest step in the future of snus. So I guess people are seeing the white tobacco product as the future of snus.
Personally, I hope not.
I know I like that they exist, but I don't consider them to be the future. I think it's a niche product that people like, but I don't think it's like the future of snus.
Is it just available in like mint, or are they going to work on like a bergamot option?
Yeah, it's just mint right now, as far as I know. Somebody asked about the snus pillow. Hang on, let me try and remember that website. It's like Dens and Sons or something like that.
That's on my Christmas list, man. Is that snus pillow?
Yeah, they have a web store, and I think they ship to the U.S. SnusPillow.com. That's the website. It's 69 euros plus shipping. So 69 euros is like 75, 80 bucks US. So they're
Goat's Kim or Goat Skim. We're talking about snus pillows.
Yeah. You can get them from SnusPillow.com, and they're handmade. They are made in Helsinki, Finland. They have a velvet-like fabric, 235 grams. The pillow cover is removable. It's 14 inches by 30 inches. And I did a full video review of them because I review everything. So if you want to know more about Snus Pillow, you can go and watch that. It's a full review of a pillow.
See, you should do that, man, for like a for an April Fool's joke. You should like review your couch with your pillow on it.
That would be fun. Somebody told me that a while back. They were like, you need to do a review of just something completely random that's not snus. So I may go to Arby's and review their curly fries or something.
I don't know. There's a lot of people making money off of that stuff too.
Oh, I know. There's channels where all they do is review food. There's one guy who's a fast food guy, and he has millions of subscribers, and that's what he does for a living. And he just makes money off of his ad revenue. It's crazy. And he gets to eat for free because the restaurants ask him to go review their products.
I would not like to see what happens when he turns 50.
Yeah, that's not somewhere you want to be. I love that. Someone said a snooze snuggie.
A snoogie. That'd be borderline copyright infringement for you, though.
I think that would probably be, yeah, I would probably get sued. Oh, somebody asked what I said about the future of snus thing. I was talking about G4. Yeah, G4, yeah. That's what they said on their website. If you go to swedishmatch.se, that's their web store. Do either of you use nasal snuff? I do.
I used to.
Yeah, I use Toke. They're my favorite. They're Coke and they're cheese and bacon are my favorites.
I have a bunch of Samuel Gawith Fire Dance in like those giant tins.
Oh yeah. And I like the Abraxas and I like McCrystals. Those are my other favorites that are not Toke.
I used to use it a lot, but the thing is, like, blowing your nose sucks.
Yeah, you get brown boogers. Yep.
Or like if you have a runny nose in the winter.
Oh yeah, it is not fun. Is rectal administration a legitimate way to use snus or just a joke? Yeah, that's a membrane. So if you put a snus in your rectum, it will you'll consume nicotine because it's a membrane. What I remember when I took A&P courses in college, they were talking about people who use drugs and people who shoot up heroin, and it's called boofing, and they take the drugs and they put them in their rectum because apparently that's an open membrane. That's so gross. It absorbs whatever you put into it faster, which is why with babies they do suppositories because it'll absorb the medicine faster that way. So I assume you could do that with snus. I wouldn't suggest it. I don't know anyone who's done it, but I wouldn't suggest doing it. It just doesn't sound like a very good idea.
So this is, I don't know if they still make this, but this is the Thunder Strong Coarse Snuff Frosted.
Yeah. Yeah, I still make it.
So this is like unopened. I haven't opened one. I used it a couple times just to try it. But this has been sitting since I got it, so I have it unopened. This is decent stuff when I used to, use snuff and snus at the same time. But yeah, it's basically it's nasal snuff, so you lightly sniff it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway.
It's like so when I first started using snuff, someone told me it's like you're smelling a rose. You're not snorting, you're not inhaling. It's like you're smelling a rose. So that's kind of what it's like to use, nasal snuff.
This is actually coming out of the packaging, and I didn't even open it. It's like busted open. So there's a bunch of it.
It doesn't look like it's dried out.
Yeah. I'm not going to use it though.
I was hoping you were going to just do a line of it.
I'm done with that.
I saw someone do that on YouTube years ago. I'll have to find the video, but somebody dared them to do a line of nasal stuff, and they did it, and they got so sick.
Just like those guys that do like full cans of snus or like full cans of loose. It's like, come on.
Did you see the kid on YouTube that did the full can of Thunder X or whatever? That was crazy.
Gross, man. Wouldn't advise doing that.
No, I don't. That's one thing I will never do.
So first name, last name, if you want to see some snuff reviews, I have them on my other channel, my soup channel. The first channel where I actually debuted my snus reviews. So if you want to see some old snus reviews before Snus Central and some snuff stuff and some other stuff I'm interested in, like firearms, stuff like that, I do have another channel where you can check that out.
Someone said, what's your favorite snus first thing in the morning? For me, it's a mint because it's right after I brush my teeth. That's what I use. And someone says, what do you recommend with coffee? I don't drink coffee. Do you drink coffee, Matt?
I do occasionally. Sorry, my headphone's weird. I do. I drink coffee. I drink a lot of organic, like natural, small coffee brewery coffee. And I usually like to use a bergamot snus with my coffee. Like General White's great with coffee, but I'm more of a tea guy. If you guys don't know, I'm huge into tea. Like loose leaf tea is awesome.
Yeah.
So typically, like in the morning, if I have loose leaf tea, I'll have a pu'er tea with either General White, or if you're daring, some of the whiskey ones. So like your crafted snus whiskey, or even Eton. Eton is fantastic with coffee and with tea. So that's my whole thing there.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is almost 11 o'clock in Arkansas. I'm going to call it a night. Matt, thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Thanks, Chad. Thanks.
Good night.
And soon, we're going to have the 24-hour live marathon for charity. So
it's a plan. Good night, everybody. Thanks for.
Oh, and with that, Chad cut off. So I think I'm going to go here in a second, unless you guys have more questions for me. I really appreciate you guys joining. I really thank you guys for joining. So any more questions, I'll give it like a minute here, and then we'll wrap up. So shoot the questions off if you got them now. Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Goy Guy. Yeah, everybody spread the word about the channel here. I do need some more subscribers. I've been working on it. I mean, I passed the 2,000 mark. So I'm hoping to hit like 5,000 by the end of the year. I know that's a stretch because the way the channel's going, but I think I could do it. So help me hit 5,000 subscribers before the year is out. If not next year, I'd love to grow the channel. So I make these videos for you guys. I really do. So if you have any feedback or comments on my videos, let me know. I love talking to you guys. And, just spreading the word about quality Swedish snus. That's what I'm here for. To get people out smoking, spreading the word about snus, and just having fun along the way. So all these videos are made for you guys. So, Adrian asks, how did you start to use snus? Well, I went over that like on every live stream I do, it looks like. Plus, if you look at the SnusCon videos that Chad has on his channel, we go through that. So I go through how I started snus. So if you want to check that out, look at my old videos and some of the SnusCon Chad videos that he did. Excuse me. How do you get an original portion to not be all sunk to one side? I just fluff it up, so pretty much here I'll demonstrate it for you. Now this is not, well, here I got an original portion. Odin's Extreme Licorice. Happens to be sitting here. This is an original portion. So I'll pull one out and show you. As you can see, this has tobacco mainly to one side. So all you want to do, just do this, fluff it up, roll it around in your fingertips, and right there, boom, that's good to go in. So that's all you do. So for your first time snus users, that's what you want to do. Roll it around in your hands, pop it in your upper lip. I am learning Swedish. So Martin, I think you were on last time possibly, trying to teach me Swedish. If not, it's somebody else. I'm not going to start on that tonight. I think it's a little bit too late. I don't want to embarrass myself. But I'm getting better. Yeah, General Goat Skim. I tried that with General Original, but it doesn't work well. So yeah, with that, you just got to keep working at it. Keep fluffing the portion. That can be a pain because there's a little bit more moisture in those compared to some other original portions. So just keep working at it. You'll get it. Thank you for subbing, sir. Appreciate it. All right, Goy Guy, slay those demons. I'd suggest using the King James Bible for that. Anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call it a night myself. It's getting on 12 o'clock here in Michigan, Eastern Standard Time. I think I'm going to call it a night. I'm pretty tired. Had an eventful weekend, and if you guys want to see the weekend I had, be sure to check out my review on G3 Volt. It's actually a trip of me going to the UP, or the Upper Peninsula in Michigan. So yeah, check that video out. It's the latest video. Again, I have Matt, One Pride 81 on the intro. So check that out. And again, if you guys want to submit the intros to the beginning of my videos, please do so. It's got to be within 10 to 15 seconds. And you can say hello. Basically, if you want all the information on what to do, how long it has to be, and where to send it, it's going to be down in the description box below. So be sure to do that, guys. I want to see some more intros. It only takes about 10 to 15 seconds. So I'm not asking for a lot of time out of your day, just a little bit to help spread the word on the channel and to get you guys recognized as snus users. So please do so. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end it here. So thanks again for Chad for joining us. I know it was a little bit of a tangent, but had a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun talking to you guys. And I hope to see you on the next live one. And subscribe if you haven't done so already. Really appreciate it. Check out our Facebook and Instagram page to stay connected with quick hits along the day. So until next time, guys, you know the drill. Enjoy good snus. See you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Have a good night.